The issue now that Andrew Cuomo is bringing up in New York is that he is a Ugandan citizen. Uganda is a country where they kill homosexuals.
So somebody who is a dual citizen can't be mayor of New York, or?
I would renounce, if I was the dual citizen with a country whose policy, government policy, was we kill homosexuals, yeah, I would renounce that citizenship.
Yeah. I don't, and to not, and he also,
I think that is buying into a fear. I think that is buying into a fear framework that is not good. It's not good for the country. It's not good for the country.
You shouldn't be afraid of that.
Bill Maher has torn apart Zohran Mamdani's policies, and it was very harsh. The bold comedian even went after members of his own party for supporting Mamdani and AOC's ideas, warning that it could cause Democrats to lose again. Maher did not hold back at all. So hit the subscribe button and let's get into it.
Democrats seem to be having this debate whether or not Maher Mamdani is a socialist or a democratic socialist. Let me settle it. He's a straight-up communist. How do I know this? Well, I'm reading between the lines when one of his major advisors says, elect more communists.
That one line shocked everyone in the room. Democrats had been presenting Mamdani as a fresh and modern reformer. But Maher was not convinced at all. He completely exposed what he believes is the ideology behind the image. Maher says he understands the dangers of communist-style thinking and believes it could damage America and also hurt Democrats politically. So he directly attacked Mamdani's clean social media image and revealed what he sees underneath it. But he was not finished yet. What he said next shocked many Democrats completely.
It's fine. It's a belief system. He's allowed to believe it, and people are allowed to vote for it. But if liberals deny it, like he's just going through a goth phase, they're going to lose more elections. This is not a communist country.
And this is the uncomfortable truth many Democrats do not want to admit. A big part of the Democratic Party tries to act like extreme politics only exists on the right side, not on their own side. They often excuse radical members by saying it is just temporary and they will change later. But over time, Maher says it becomes clear these ideas are not temporary at all. Instead, they're growing inside the party. He warns that ignoring Mamdani's socialist ideas as just a phase will seriously hurt Democrats later. And this is where things become even more serious. Wait until you hear what Mamdani's own staff has said.
It matters that the mayor stands by, and so I assume stands with, someone who says things like, if you don't believe in the government's sacred right to seize private property, it's over. Seize private property. Home ownership is racist. Elect more communists. Private property, especially home ownership, is a weapon of white supremacy. Really? Even among the 20 million black Americans who own their own home?
Yes, you heard that correctly. And this comes from C. Weaver, who was recently appointed as the New York City Director of the Office for Protecting Tenants. If this is the type of person Mamdani is placing in important housing roles, people should be very concerned. Even though this is only in New York City, it is one of the most powerful cities in the world and a financial center of America. So if democratic socialists like Mamdani are gaining control there and appointing very radical figures like C. Weaver, then in Maher's view, America is already very close to a dangerous point.
I know the kids think that stuff that happened before their appearance on the planet didn't really happen, but it did. We've run this experiment many times, and the results are always obvious. Here's capitalist South Korea at night from space. Here's socialist North Korea. Yeah. In 1990, Venezuela was wealthier than Poland. But then Poland, finally free of Soviet-style economics, went all in on capitalism. And now their economy is as big as Japan. And people there have high wages, low inflation, cars, vacations, homes. Meanwhile, Venezuela traded capitalism for Hugo Chavez's socialism for the 21st century, which turned out to be like socialism in the last century or any century, a fucking mess.
And what makes this even more worrying is this. Both Zohran Mamdani and AOC have become very popular among young Democrats by promoting socialist ideas in a very attractive way. The promises sound simple and appealing: free everything, higher taxes on the rich, and shared wealth for all. But Maher strongly disagrees with this idea. He looks at history and compares socialist countries with capitalist ones. In his view, the results are very clear. Capitalist countries have built stronger economies and better living standards, while socialist countries like Cuba, Venezuela, and the Soviet Union often faced poverty, shortages, and government control. Maher believes socialism has already failed many times, and it will fail again. Yet, he says, young people are still being attracted to it in a new modern form.
Bernie, AOC, Mamdani are not Democrats. They'll be the first to tell you that. They're democratic socialists, and that's a very different thing, and I don't think people know that yet. All that is socialism, much of it appropriate to soften the edges of capitalism, but the DSA are radicals about this concept, and radical economic policy is always ineluctably married to radical social policy. Their platform, for example, calls for completely open borders. They're for what Biden was doing, but more. You think you're going to win an election on that?
Maher goes even further and exposes something many Democrats do not like to say out loud. Zohran Mamdani calls himself a Democrat, but Maher says he is actually a democratic socialist, which he sees as a more extreme ideology. Mamdani's ideas include things like open borders, free education, free food programs, free transport, and free healthcare. Everything is described as free. But the big question is, who pays for all of this? Mamdani's answer is simple: tax the rich. He believes the wealthy should be heavily taxed to pay for everything. It sounds easy, but Maher argues history shows a different result. When money runs out, everyone ends up suffering, not just the rich.
10% pay 72% of all federal income taxes, and the bottom half, 3%. The democratic socialists talk about socialism like we don't already have a lot. Social Security, unemployment, Medicare, nutritional assistance, Medicaid, Obamacare, disability, housing subsidies. Again, not against it, just the same question. How can you be soaking the rich and failing the poor so bad?
So here is the big question nobody on the left clearly answers. How will all these free programs actually be paid for? The usual answer is always the same: tax the rich. They repeat it often, saying the rich are not paying enough. But according to Maher, the numbers tell a different story. He claims the top 10% of earners already pay about 72% of all taxes in the country, while the bottom half only pays around 3%. That means the wealthy are already carrying most of the tax burden. So Maher says the real issue is not just about collecting more money from the rich. The real question is what the government is already doing with the huge amount of money it collects.
The truth, you're not going to get health care to these people by threatening to tax and eat the rich. You raise billionaires' taxes, they just leave the state. Or they leave the country. Or in some cases, the planet. I kid Elon, but he had a good idea recently that might be apropos here. During the recent government shutdown, he volunteered to pay all the TSA workers himself, with couch money. That's how super rich our super rich are. They can single-handedly fund entire government programs. Okay, so let's make that a thing.
Maher also gives a serious warning here. If wealthy people are taxed too heavily, they will leave. And according to him, this is already happening. States like California and New York, which have high taxes, are losing wealthy residents. Many business owners, millionaires, and even billionaires are moving to states like Florida and Texas, where taxes are lower. If this continues at a national level, Maher warns they may even leave the country completely. They would take their businesses and jobs with them. And in the end, ordinary people would suffer the most, because they would lose investment, jobs, and economic growth.
This just seems like more extremism at a time when Americans are begging both parties, please, could just one of you act normal? It's either defund the police or military in the streets. Either MAGA's crypto crony capitalism or city-run grocery stores, No, I don't want that. I want a Democrat who reassures me if you like your Whole Foods, you can keep your Whole Foods.
This is the bigger warning Maher is trying to give. It is not just about New York or Mamdani. It is about the entire Democratic Party. Maher is basically saying, change direction or keep losing elections. If Democrats continue supporting very radical figures, he believes they are making it easy for Republicans to win future elections like 2028. He says moderate and independent voters will never support extreme socialist ideas like free everything and open borders. Many of those voters already left in 2024, and he believes they will do it again. That could open the door for Republican candidates like J.D. Vance or others. Maher says he sees this outcome coming clearly, but the question is whether Democrats are willing to listen.
Governor-elect Spanberger once said about Biden's presidency that, quote, nobody elected him to be FDR. They elected him to be normal. Normal. You know, at this year's DSA convention, or as it's commonly known, Comic-Con, get this, you had to submit a photo of a negative COVID test to get in. In 2025. Yeah, no one wants to do that shit again. We've had enough of Trump's macho bullshit and also enough of pussy politics.
And Maher also warns about what could happen if a Democratic socialist ever becomes president. He believes it would not be a small change, but a major shift towards socialism very quickly. Policies that many Americans already dislike could expand even more. Government control could grow larger and more powerful than ever before. And to show his point, he mentions something surprising. Even 5 years after COVID, some democratic socialist groups still require members to take COVID tests before attending events. In 2025, they are still doing this. For Maher, this shows how extreme and rigid these ideas can be. He believes this is the kind of future that Mamdani and his supporters represent.
These democratic socialists at another of their conventions, they were told to make jazz hands instead of clapping, lest some delegates suffer sensory overload. And also, and I'm not joking, they were told not to be wearing, any aggressive scents.
Please don't go into that space with anything that's like an aggressive scent, for instance, right? Because that's going to be difficult for people.
Oh, for fuck's sake.
And that is the full picture Maher has been building from the beginning. This is not just about Zohran Mamdani or New York City. It is about the direction of the Democratic Party and even the future of America. Maher, who has been a lifelong liberal, is now warning that his own party is moving toward dangerous ideas. He believes socialist promises sound good on the surface, but can lead to serious economic problems later. Higher taxes may drive away wealthy people. Radical leaders may scare voters, and free everything policies may lead to massive debt. And if the party does not change direction, it may keep losing elections it should win. The warning is clear. The question now is whether anyone is listening. And with that, the video comes to an end. If you enjoyed it, hit like, subscribe, and we'll see you in the next one.